This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas. The information contained in this podcast is intended for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for individual professional legal advice. The podcast information was carefully compiled from vetted sources and references. However, R.O.S.E Resources Outreach to Safeguard the Elderly cannot guarantee that you will not fall victim to a scam. Let's talk about scams. It's the must-listen show for anyone who wants to protect themselves and their loved ones from scams. Every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time on K4HD Radio, Joyce Petrowski, founder of R.O.S E, and her guests will provide valuable insights and practical tips on how to recognize and protect yourself from scams. And now, here is your host, Joyce Petrowski.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to Let's Talk About Scams. I'm Joyce Petrowski, founder and board president of R.O.S.E Resources Outreach to Safeguard the Elderly. You can find more information on our website at roseadvocacy.org. At the top of the homepage, you'll see all of our social media channels, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you will see where you can sign up for our monthly newsletters. We do one that we send out in the mail, and we do one via email. And the emailed one every Tuesday morning at 9:15 Arizona time, which is about an hour and 12 minutes, you're going to receive a Tip Tuesday. And it's a great reminder about your healthy skepticism and scam prevention. You might already know the tip, but it's a reminder in a good way to keep scam prevention top of mind. So you're more apt to know to stop and pause when you get contacted and really do your research to verify what's going on. Today, we're going to talk about some artificial intelligence, and we have David Hawkins back. With deep roots in both physical and cybersecurity, David's skills cover everything from identity management and access control to compliance and risk solutions. He has conducted hundreds of workshops and thousands of POCs in vendor cyber risk management. So let's welcome David.
Hello. Nice to see you again.
Hey, David. Good to see you.
Yeah.
All right. So artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
I think, or AI, right? As everybody knows it. So what specifically do you want to talk about?
Well, the last time we talked a little bit about the deep fakes. And
Yep.
Obviously deep fakes are a pretty big part of, being aware of not being scammed and things like that.
Right.
And in order to illustrate some of what I've learned recently in AI, and I've spent the last 3 years digging pretty deep into AI.
Oh, wow.
I'll go back to that previous conversation and show you how, number one, it'll reinforce what we talked about then, but also talk about how I use that to generate the content that the link that I provided you has.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of a behind the scenes of what we did before using AI. So I'll go ahead and share a screen here. And what I did was initially when we first got together, I shared a document with you, and that document essentially was I took some bullet points and I asked an AI to help me generate this document. Now, the way that worked is I started off with this tool called Grok. Now, Grok is just one of the many AI types out there. There's OpenAI, Grok, Gemini, any of them are fine.
Copilot, isn't Copilot one of them?
And Copilot, yes, Microsoft Copilot. So they're all excellent tools. But I started off with this simple interface, and I said, help me build a document related to, as a matter of fact, I think I have the old prompt somewhere over here on deep fake videos. So there's right there. So I created a conversation and I said, I'm looking for a way to demonstrate deep fake videos. And it actually came back and gave me, and I'll just copy and paste this. You can see how quickly these things put it together for you. And the trick with AI and the real skill with AI right now is
Hmm.
in coming up with the best prompt. In many respects, it's asking the system, the AI, to make a prompt for you. And
Okay.
that just saves you the whole, and it does take a few seconds. So what you're seeing in the background right now is there are a number of agents inside of this tool that are going out and creating a bunch of content in order to, or doing research and then creating the content on the fly
And
in
you
order
can see the
to,
content showing up there.
yeah, and it's going through, and you can see it says Agent 3. I know this is, let me zoom that in a little bit so folks could see it. And this gives you an idea of what is happening behind the scenes. So there are a whole bunch of agents that are running just for the purpose of going after and creating, and it rightfully is a good thing to point out right off the bat. There are a lot of protections being built into AI right now from a deepfake perspective to prevent people from making deepfakes. So
Which is good.
is aware of that.
Yes.
So
Now, so explain when you say there's a lot of agents working in the background. Explain what an agent is.
right. So initially, when you just create a prompt is just an instruction. Now,
Okay.
an agent is able to take the instruction and break it down into subtasks, and
Okay.
then each agent will go grab onto one of those tasks and run with it.
And the
So
agent is actually the AI software,
it's a task manager.
a task manager. Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
you may have heard recently a great deal of information about Claude. Not Claude. I'm sorry, OpenClaw.
Okay.
So OpenClaw is a tool that somebody created. It was a weekend project
Oh,
that
wow. Just a weekend?
literally a weekend project, and this guy put together a tool that was supposed to be a personal assistant, and it
Okay.
would go out and do all of these different things for you. And as he continued to build it, he started adding things like connections to Telegram, which is a communications
Right.
chat-like software, Discord, another one like that.
Right.
And each one of those communication tools would allow the agent to talk to you. And it even reached a level of sophistication where the agent would call you on the phone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
But the agent is really like a computer.
it is.
It's not because I think when me being old school, we think of agents as being a real live person that you're talking to.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So, and that's how you want to think of an agent, because each time you work with an agent, you end up with some the equivalent of a person that is running with a task and acting on a number of items. So the output of what we ended up with here, this is actually a
Wow.
rehash because I went back and created something else. But our original conversation had this document, and this whole document was composed by the tool. Now, that's great. Just having a document, this is a script perhaps for a video that you might make. And that's kind of what we did on the last call. But
Right, right.
then we go
And,
deep.
this is when we talk to people in the presentations. I did one yesterday and on Sunday.
Mhm.
Um, I talk very briefly about AI because I tell them right up front, I am not an AI expert. I have not done a lot of research, on it, but, the generative text, right? I talked to
Mhm.
him about how do you remember when scams kinda were in the early stages and, before we even had email, they were sending letters in the mail, but then they would do them via email, and you could look at it and go, "The grammar is so bad," you just knew it was a fake, you knew it
Yeah,
was a scam. But I some people know about ChatGPT, others don't, and I'm
right.
like, "It's free, scammers can use it just like we can," but within seconds, it creates a grammatically correct script that they then copy and paste over into an email or a letter or whatever they're going to, do. And
Right.
so you can't look at it and say, well, this sounds legitimate. It must be.
Right. Exactly. And so now I want to go just on the learning about how to use AI a little bit.
Okay.
And this one, so this is still on creating the script for that discussion. And I'm going to go back to the top so that you can see the full conversation. So I said, help me with the talking points, right? And I took the original document that it generated, that Word document, and I just dragged it and dropped it in. Okay, so that's this attachment right here.
Okay.
So this document that I just talked about,
Right. Yep.
I iterated on it. So I took that document, it was downloaded as a file on my computer, and I just dragged it and dropped it into this conversation. So that way I had more context. And I said, what I really want, I want to go, it came back and said, okay, that was a great conversation. And I'm sorry for scrolling here quick because I know that can be annoying. But here's the second part of my conversation. I said, get me links for all of the research that you did with those agents and show me the links. I don't just want the output of the content.
You want to know where it came from.
Yeah, I want the citation so I know it's real.
Okay.
And so it came back with all of these links.
Wow.
Now, a step-by-step process that I did in order to make this a very useful thing is I use another tool, and this is not AI. This is actually just a quick, easy tool to get bookmarks for things. All right. So this is every one of the links that we looked at over here. I went in and I said, open this in another tab, open this in another tab. Each one of these links, I did that for every one of these individual links.
Okay.
That gave me the websites and the items. And just to make it easy, I saved them with this little widget, and it saved it, as you can see right here, in the R.O.S.E interview for today.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And that's what all of these individual items are. And so the good news is for the folks who click on the link for the notebook that I shared, every one of these links is inside that notebook.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So all of these videos are there. So you can actually go in and say, how do I learn about these deepfakes? Can you give me some examples? Rather than rehashing that, we don't need to go try and create a demo of this because so many have already built some great content around this.
Right, right.
So that's when I go to the next big tool. So the first big tool was just using any old chat tool, and make sure to remember to ask specifically for things that are useful. Like, I need the links. Don't just tell me, give me the links. So you've got some proof behind it.
Right.
So that gives you the starting point. And then I did the same thing again. I took that content and I copied and pasted all of it with the links back into this document for the second draft.
Okay.
Right? So I've got a nice record of that. And then I went to another really powerful tool. And this is a free tool that you should know about if you haven't had the opportunity to work with it. This is a tool called Notebook LM. Now, you can download it as a program. That's what you're looking at on the screen right now.
Okay.
But it's also available as a link. So you can just go open Notebook LM. I thought I had it right there, but I don't. So we'll go Notebook LM. So you can see the link here at the top says notebooklm.google.com. And if you just search for Notebook LM, it'll bring it right here. And then here's the deepfake topic. I've got all of these different notebooks for different shows that I've been researching and doing.
Okay.
And then here's the content. And you see all over here on the left, this is where all the videos that I just showed you, where when I dragged and dropped that document in.
Okay.
And that by doing that, what I did is I hit add sources, and then I just dragged and dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just went straight
or upload, either one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, what I did too was, in order to get the websites so clean out here, if I just left them in as a Word document, it might not have picked it up so easily. So using this web page tool, I downloaded as a text file all of my web links. And that gave me this page right here, which I'm going to bring over. Here you go. So when I downloaded it, it just gave me all these web pages. Simple as that. It was just all of the content. And when you download it now, I don't need to memorize these, but what I did, or use these anyway, I just copied this whole thing, hit copy. And then once I did that, I was over here in the Notebook LM tool, and I hit add sources, and I went to websites, and I pasted all of them in.
Oh, and it
That
picked
was
them
it.
all up as websites.
Yeah, and that's so that
Nice.
they came in nice and clean. First time I tried it, when I did it, I ended up with the Word document, which is attached way down here somewhere
Yeah.
in the bottom. There it is. So that talking points didn't extract all of the web pages, and I wanted them nice and clean so you could go to one of these and actually look at it. So the idea now is that text source, the text file that I copied and pasted all the web pages
Right.
in, created individual web pages that you can now look at and watch the videos on.
Okay.
But then the beautiful, like really powerful capabilities of this tool, this Notebook LM tool, is I thought, well, I'd like to know more about the topic. Now, I'm going to just spread this out a little bit so you can see better. Over here are a set of buttons. And for those who have done work in the corporate world and you've had to go create content rapidly,
Mhm.
maybe for a meeting or something like that, if we had had these tools, our lives would have been so much easier, right? It was crazy. So
There'd be so many more trees around
yeah,
with
yeah,
all the
true.
paper we used.
And trees in another sense too, because here's a tree that it created for me from the content.
Oh, wow.
So I just clicked on it. I said create, and just to give you the context, I clicked this create a mind map, and it created this digital mimic navigating AI voice and deep fake fraud. So all of those sources were used to create this little tree, and it gives us this understanding real
Oh,
quick.
wow.
I had scam mechanics. The voice cloning is one of them. It takes only a 3 to 10 second clip to create a scam video, which is why you want to bury and make private any videos of you and your family on Facebook or YouTube or
Absolutely.
wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you've got the ability to go, they can download your social media videos. So you want to make sure that that's not available. And then the tools, this actually talked about the tools that you could use to go create the deep fakes. And I
Wow.
did do the research. I was going to go ahead and try and create a sample. And what ends up happening is it creates it for $150 a month.
Heck
So if you
yeah.
don't mind spending that kind of money,
Then you
scammer
could do
work,
it.
because if they
Right.
can get one scam, they win. But for those of us just trying to share and help the
Share right,
public,
education, awareness, all that.
yeah. But like I said, all of these videos actually have some great content around that, so we don't need that. But when I clicked on that one tab, it explained everything in that content for you, and it
And
gave.
that tab that you clicked on was what
I
did it
clicked
say?
on the tools 11 labs. So if I go zoom in, I was in the
Oh, voiced
mind map.
AI. So this is the
Yeah.
voice cloning.
Yep, and I just clicked on, 11 labs, and it brought this over here. It just when I clicked it, it composed and created this, chunk of content, and this chunk of content now you can read, and it has citations, which will bring you back to the source material, so you know exactly what it's talking about, and you can get deeper
So it
understanding.
basically explains how you can do a voice AI recording.
Exactly,
And
and
right,
how to
like
detect it.
oh, and how to detect it.
Right, right.
That's the good part. Where's oh, the challenge of detection. There it is.
Yeah. Yep. So this is all in the notebook that I shared publicly. And each one of these items that if somebody were to come into this notebook, you can come in at any time, click on the link. These are all safe links. We don't have, I made sure that they were all
Yeah.
legitimate videos before I uploaded them. But for anything, if you were to start off by going to the mind map, when you first come in, you'll be presented with something similar to this with the links on the left, the chat in the middle, and then on the right, you'll see the studio. And the items that are created from the studio are down below here on the right.
Okay.
And this is what you really want to think of this as, not just, hey, this is great. I can go look and learn about deepfakes. This is a tool that anybody can use. And you can use this to teach yourself any topic you want to learn in depth. And that's
Okay.
really the value of this as far as understanding. And this create notebook at the top is the key. So if I just create a brand new notebook, it's blank. It has nothing in it.
Right. And you can, right.
And you start building from here.
Right.
And the way I like to do it is the way we started out. So I go over here to any chat. I don't care if it's Grok, a Chat GPT, the one that you probably have on your computer, Copilot,
Copilot. Yeah.
and you just ask, the first question you ask is, tell me about a topic. And then once I know, tell me about the topic, then I want to go back and I say, now get me the links and the citations. Give me proof of everything you just gave me in that topic research. And then the third step is to extract out of that all of the links that they gave you so that you can now put that in as research over here in Notebook LM.
Okay. Very
So
good.
that's step 1, step 2, and step 3.
Now,
And
I did notice when you clicked on that link about the voice cloning and it gave you all of the information about it.
Mhm.
I don't, was it called 11 Labs or something like that?
Yes, that's one of the AI tools that
Right. And it was saying they came up with,
Oop.
uh, what was it? They came up with a tool that you could put a recording into, and they would be able to tell if it was a real recording or if it was a made up recording through some sort of software. But then it also said that it had limitations.
Let's see what we can find out. So I'm asking in the chat at the bottom, tell me about the detection technologies for deepfakes that you have found in this research, just to be. I'm saying in this research, so it doesn't go out to the
It
internet.
doesn't go outside of that.
Yeah.
Right.
So now it's going to go ahead and give us, it looks through all of this and says, here's how you can find the defense tools that you need. And we'll see what it comes back with. And this is what this is a single agent that we have put the research into. And now you interview the agent. You interview the agent for all of the content that we've put in here.
Wow.
So this is, here we go. So now some of the tools that it's going to point out are going to be enterprise grade tools, which none of us are going to be able to afford as individuals.
Right. They're made for big companies.
Exactly. But they like, here's a 11 Labs
11
AI
Labs.
clone detector. I think
Yeah.
this, you must have spotted this. I didn't actually see it when we were first talking. So now this would be able to identify, and that means that let's say the next technique, give me links for all of these tools.
McAfee
Not
has
all
one.
of these tools, for the consumer level tools I can use.
Huh.
There we go. So now it's telling us about it. That's great.
Right.
How is it useful? I make it useful by asking again and again. It's just like being a reporter. You're digging in and you say, why, how, what?
Right. It's like taking an in-person interview that a reporter does with somebody, and it's just putting it all online, having a software doing the investigative journalism.
Exactly. And so it's come up for us to save us time. You'll have to, be able to spot the links in here, which should be easy enough, but it's black and white. So that's easier than if it was color. And I know folks with certain color blindness, the links can be invisible. So as long as you recognize the links, but you can just, there are other ways to see the traditional link that you might be looking for just by going to the citation. So
like that 11 Labs clone detector.
Yep. Let's see if it I don't know if it does a good job of telling us how. Let's just go to that and we'll copy it out. And we'll go over here, paste, and see what we come up. There we go. And of course, first, You have
They
to
wanna
prove
make
you're
sure you're
human.
human.
We'll see if that is a good detection. Oh, please click the circles as they appear. Okay, yeah. I've
Oh,
got
that's the first time I've seen that.
yeah, it's a different one. All right, so there's the and I'm not sure, what we're oh, it wants me to privacy MISX file. I think I'm gonna skip that one because well, no, I'll do it. Why not? So it downloads it, and then, we'll find out on the fly. This is launching a tool that's now gonna be on my toolbar so that I can use it in the future. This is real time, so, I did not know I was gonna be getting this, so,
Right.
uh, now that we've got it, I'm gonna go up here to my toolbar. We're gonna let it have access to my location, and now I've got this privacy browse tool
So,
that
hang on 1 second.
sure.
So, for people that, like, you don't wanna automatically just start downloading software onto your computer, but
No.
you have your device secured and locked down, so it would have already have scanned that to make a determination
Yeah.
if it was bad, and it
Yeah,
would have
so
told you, "Don't download this."
yes, I have
Right.
I have a combination of malware bytes, and then in addition to that, I've got an antivirus software down here below that's a corporate grade antivirus and malware detector. Um,
Mhm.
and this one I believe is called, let's see here, I'll just bring it up. So this one is, Bitdefender. So I've got
Oh, okay, I've heard
multiple
of them.
layers,
Yeah,
plus I've got Microsoft, security in and of itself. If you're
right.
using a Mac, there are other tools similar to that, and I'd encourage you to be
Yeah,
always using good tools.
right.
Um,
So,
so
I just wanted to make people aware that you
yeah,
weren't just downloading,
I I
you're
was for the sake of the show, but at the
well, you
same
were,
time
but you knew it was okay to download it because of the
yeah.
security measures you have on your computer, but now you got to the point where it said you were gonna share your location
Yes, and I did that because, for the purpose of context, I can always go I know I can go in and turn
and
the
turn that
sharing
off.
off, so I'm okay with that. So, but now the tool that it gave me was, I believe it let's see if it's hidden in the background here. There it is. So this tool popped up, and I'm gonna move that to another screen for a second so I don't lose it and come back to uh, the actual deepfake pages here. There we go. And here we go. Now, the tool here, you would get a link for something, and this is a good idea for multiple tools. This one here happens to be for 11 Labs, and the idea is if you see a video, um, so let's talk about two things when it comes to these videos. First thing is people who are hitting you with a deep fake are trying to do a one-on-one persuasion technique. They're either
Right,
going to incite your fears or they're going to incite your greed, perhaps. And they're going to use that to try and get you to click on something like, oh, I
right,
just won $1 million. And we all
right.
know that one. So we're not going to get
Yeah,
caught up in that. But the video that somebody sends or the audio that you hear on the phone, you probably they're going to put it in a context where it comes in on your phone, and they're going to try and inspire fear instantly by the very topic that we talked about. Um, our opening scene in this was right here. Imagine your phone rings and it's your granddaughter's
granddaughter's
voice.
voice, yeah,
Yeah. So
yep,
so that's an instant fear, and they want to provoke your reactionary
right,
thinking, not your critical thinking.
absolutely,
So you have to be able to recognize that. Now, a deep fake video is going to go more for not reactionary, but a little bit about your team membership, if you will, and your a lot of things. You think about what we're going into. This is a political year. There's going to be
yeah,
influential candidate influential
right,
videos being put out, right? So you should be suspicious of every video you see that comes out on any social media or that's sent to you in an email. And before you ever, if you watch a video, it's okay to watch as many videos as you want, but don't believe anything in any of the videos until you come to a site like this and test it and see if the video is a real video.
Got it.
So I think in one of if we go back to here, there was a deep fake video that was created here.
Is
And
that Justin Trudeau?
it is.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we went to that video, the video is going to be telling us about it as opposed to showing you the actual video. So that's not going to give us exactly the technique that we're looking for here. But if you were on X, YouTube, any of the social medias that you might be a member of, and you see a video, copy that link and come over to the privacy tool, paste it in before you go believing, especially when it comes to things like um, uh, Trump said this, Gavin Newsom said that, some other person said
Right.
that, anything like that. Don't believe it, because that's going to be where they're invoking your team spirit for whatever team you're on. It doesn't matter. And if you're abstaining from teams, wonderful. That should make you even more skeptical of both sides. And then take those clips and paste it into a tool like this and find out if it's been modified.
Right. And if somebody was looking for those tools, right? I mean, they can just do a quick internet search and
Yes. Now the other
find,
they can use our research here.
right. Yep. Because it
So
looks like McAfee has one.
it does. Yeah.
Resemble AI has one. There's a whole bunch of them.
Right. And so I would take a look at these. I'm very careful. I will tell you this. McAfee for me, I used to work for Symantec, and so both Symantec and McAfee for me, I have a less than trusting perspective, not because they're bad tools or bad companies, because
Okay.
they're not. But what they are companies. They want to sell. They want to sell you something. And so they're going to, if you put their deepfake detector, like a McAfee deepfake protector, the cost of antivirus and the tools that are around that have gone down so much that they're doing anything they can, and they're scrambling for ways to get you to buy into a subscription. So
Okay.
that's why I like the idea of this 11 Labs one, where you notice when we pulled this up, I didn't get pounded with ads instantly to say, oh, and by the way, for
Oh, that's true.
$79 a year, you can actually have XYZ tool and all of these other capabilities.
Right, because sometimes when you get on the website, the pop-ups come up about
Absolutely.
subscribing and
Yep. And
yeah,
even Malwarebytes does this. I mean, I love Malwarebytes as a tool. I've been using it for a long time. But every single one of these tools, their only mechanism to communicate with you is through your installation of one of their tools. And then they just say, keep sending me money, find different ways to, what else can you do? And I will say this, those tools are good. You should have a version of those tools without question. But do you want the subscription that they shove down your throat? Not necessarily. You want to be selective.
yeah, you have to do your own research and make sure that what you're getting fits your situation.
Yeah. And let's dive into one thing here. So I'm going to look at Malwarebytes for an example and bring it up here. So there are about 3 or 4 things in this product that are worth talking about. First, you have a scanner. You should have a scanner, period. I don't care what brand it is, Malwarebytes,
Right.
any of the others. You should
Yep.
have a scanner. Second thing you should have is some kind of real-time protection that protects you when it pops up on your computer saying, hey, I just blocked this. So you need that. Now, it could be Malwarebytes. It could be built into your operating system, like Microsoft has its own Windows security. That's perfectly fine as well. But you have to make sure you run the scans, keep it updated, and
Right.
and make sure that you don't just bypass these pop-ups. And then we get into the next step, VPNs. You definitely want to consider a VPN if you're trying to do things away from home. So if you
Right.
go to another country, VPNs are essential, because what ends up happening is you can end up getting into their every country has bans and
Right.
agreements on what kind of data is allowed in their country.
Right.
So if you're just using, you could be doing a search in a country where literally you could have somebody knocking on the door for something you searched or posted on a social media network. So if you go to the UK and you're staying at a hotel and you make a negative comment about one of the political parties, you could find yourself being interviewed for that
Right.
right?
You have to know.
Yeah, by interviewed, I mean, it could mean incarceration. It's not trivial.
Yeah, you have to know the rules and the laws and
Right.
stuff like that. So, and that could take tons of research. And it's interesting. We talk about VPNs in our presentations and explain
Mhm.
to people, you know, just because you're at a place, right? Whether it's a coffee shop, a hotel, whatever it is, and you say, is your Wi-Fi secure? A lot of times the answer you're going to get is yes, it's
Of
password
course.
protected.
Right.
But you always have to ask yourself the question,
Yeah.
how many people know that password
Yeah.
on
It's
any
true.
given day?
It's very true.
And a lot is the answer because they might not change it every day. And even if they don't, how many people are staying in that hotel that know that password, right? I mean, there's just
Yep.
and so we talked to them about their mobile hotspots on their phone, right? Yes, that's password protected, but somebody would actually literally have to have your phone, or they would have to be inside your phone,
Mhm.
right? Through not having protection on your phone and clicking on a bad link or something like that to see that password, which is
Yeah.
why we always I tell people at the beginning of the presentation, you're going to hear me say multiple times, you need to secure your mobile phones because they're
Absolutely.
mobile computers.
Mhm.
And I get that back on the survey, what's one thing that you learned? And it's like, I need to get antivirus on my cell phone, you
Yes,
know?
you do.
And it's because
And
you have to ask yourself, if someone got in there, what damage could they do?
yeah,
They
well, let me give you a real world example of what kind
sure.
of damage they could do. So, and by the way, this is another good thing that these services all offer, which is identity protection.
Mhm.
And what this will do is go out and search for all references to you in the public
Yes.
and in the dark web domains and find where your data is exposed. And that's a great tool to have. The trick to this one, though, the reason I don't subscribe to it on Malware Bytes is because it's actually um, every single time you do one of these researches, you find out that some of your data has been breached. It's almost guaranteed. And if you get a message saying your data was breached, they usually, and preferably in like a letter that came to your
Right.
mailbox, you can actually subscribe and get for free their service. And I
Oh.
always say, if you've got one of those services, take advantage of it because
Mhm.
why would you want to pay a subscription for $30 or $40 a year when you get it for free and it'll last for 1 to 2 years? Just make sure you're careful about knowing how many of these things you put your credit card into because you're going to end up with multiple.
Right.
When it
Right.
says auto renew, make sure you turn off auto renew on everything.
Right, because you're gonna forget,
Yeah,
and all of a sudden, you're gonna get the charge.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, but the real world example I was going to give you, I had a repair that needed to be done for a property that I own.
Okay.
And I made the mistake of texting a person, my son actually, my credit card number. And that credit card number now ended up being used in something that shouldn't have been used. And it wasn't maliciously used, but because it went through the texting, the open text of the standard text protocol on your phone,
Which is not encrypted
it's not
because
encrypted. And
you
it took,
weren't going iPhone to iPhone.
no, it was iPhone to iPhone.
Oh, really? Because
Yeah,
that's supposed to be encrypted.
it is. But unfortunately, somehow it got caught up.
Oh, okay.
So in that instance, what ended up happening is something on his phone that he had downloaded that was probably not the best thing to download,
Oh, okay.
things like that.
Alright.
There was some kind of malware on his phone that picked it out of the app.
Got
And
it.
then we never saw it. We never saw it on his phone as a subscription. We never saw it tied into anything, but somehow that credit card number got put into an app that he didn't even have installed on his phone. He had it for a brief period of time, but then uninstalled it. And then I was getting $10 charges 3, 4 times a day.
Oh,
And
wow.
fortunately,
Okay.
I had an American Express, and they helped me with the fraud, and we blocked it. It was all covered.
Right.
But nonetheless, that was a problem. And, big rule, when it comes to protecting yourself, remember the whose interest is being protected. When you have a debit card, it's on you. You've got
Yeah.
your account, the debit card is direct access to your checking,
Absolutely. Yes.
and it's on you to protect that. So if
Right.
you pass that information around, you're just you could be
Right.
out money instantly,
Right. Yeah.
And then but on the other hand, if it's a credit card, it's credit. And so it's on the credit card company to protect that because they're giving you a loan, a credit
In
card
essence,
loan.
right.
Yeah,
Right, that's why they're doing a credit check on you when you sign up for a credit card, and
exactly.
they wanna
And
make sure that you're a good bet to pay it.
they have millions of dollars per, you know,
Year for
account,
fraudulent
whatever,
charges.
to protect themselves.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about protecting if you're using a credit card. So if you're gonna do anything on a phone, anything on a subscription of any kind, always use a credit card, never use your debit card.
Yeah. No,
And
that
even my father got caught up on that one. He subscribed to something and they were just taking money out of his account, and he couldn't stop it until I helped him. And it just it's so easy to get caught up in these things.
oh,
So
it
never
is.
use he didn't even have a credit card. I made him get a credit card, and then we removed his debit card from everything.
Right, yeah,
So,
yeah. Alright, well, we've got about 8 minutes left.
sure.
So, um, is there a way that, um I'm trying to think of what's the next step because I know we're gonna do part 2 next
Yeah.
week, and so
Yep.
I don't wanna get into, what we're gonna talk about next week,
No, no.
you know, but,
I
so
think as far as that goes, what we can do is just, uh, we're going to basically go a little bit deeper, probably talk a little bit more about agents and things like that, but maybe do more of a high level discussion on uh, understanding all of those big chat tools.
okay,
So, there's all of the different, there, what is called frontier models. And we'll get into what is the difference between a frontier model and agent, the different tools that you can use as far as how to create images, how to create videos, and some real world use cases, workflows. We started one this week, but a real world workflow around how
so
you
will
can get
then we be
benefit.
able to, like, see an actual, like, deep fake video that
Um, I don't think that would be the best because then we would, one way, unless we have a budget for that.
oh, I see what you're
Yeah,
saying because 'cause we'd
'cause
have to
that's gonna cost
subscribe.
some money. No, I'm
Yeah,
thinking, if we're really just going down the path a little bit of just talking about AI in general to, I think in the future, if we haven't already said it, AI is absolutely going to be the number one thing that's going on.
right,
You're not going to be able to avoid
avoid it,
AI.
right,
So rather than avoid it, let's talk about how you can leverage it in your life, real time, in the real world, and
right,
actually get benefit from it.
right, and then actually also, when we are looking at videos, um are there certain things that we can look for
Mhm.
or right, little things that we can look for to say, "Hey, this doesn't seem to be making sense."
Yes.
Forgetting what they're saying, but
Yeah.
just looking at the video itself to see if there's little nuances, to try to give, especially the older adult population, right? They might
Yeah.
not be so technical,
Yeah. I
to
have that
know.
here. I have
Huh?
that at the end of this document we created for the last one, and what we'll do here is just it's worth, going through these real quick,
Oh, okay.
on today's topic because we were just talking about this a little bit. So, in the videos, look for unnatural blinking, lip sync issues where the words don't quite match the video.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, if we talked at the beginning about, you mentioned my channel, which is the Second Sip.
Second sip, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a news show. I did 35 episodes back to back every day for about a month and a couple days. And then I paused that because basically I don't want to do just a news show every single day. So I'm doing more in-depth videos that are going to be once a week. But this at the beginning of every single one of those, or most of those videos, I have a little montage video that I created
Okay.
out of AI. I just used AI. And you'll see right off the bat, it's not my voice. My face looks fake sometimes, even though it's got a good representation of me.
Okay.
And the audio doesn't always match up. So those are really good. If you go to that Second Sip channel on YouTube, you can find these videos, and when you look at them, you can right off the bat see the messed up video or the waxy image of the face, and some
Okay.
of it is very obvious.
Okay, so someone just gets on YouTube and they search the Second Sip, or is it
Yeah,
just Second Sip?
either one, but either
Either
one
one.
should bring it up. But the Second
Okay.
Sip will bring up, and there's quite a few episodes in there where I was coming off of enjoying the Scott Adams show until he passed away in January.
Oh,
And so that's where the start of the Second Sip came from, because he had a thing, let's have a sip, what he called the simultaneous sip, that he
okay.
introduced every single show with. And for me, I just called it the Second Sip because it was kind of a dedication to him. And he has some amazing techniques on how to detect deep fakes and how to detect scams and frauds that
Oh,
he's been
okay.
reporting for years. So that's kind of where a
All
lot of
right,
my,
Scott Adams, okay.
yeah,
All
and
right,
he's
so
the
if people
builder.
wanna look at that, they wanna look at Second Sip,
Yep.
yeah, in fact, I have, for the newsletter in April, I'd like to it'd be nice to put, one of those videos in there and just
Yeah,
say,
and
do you notice any differences?"
yes, yeah, and it'll be pretty simple to you can instantly see the difference because there's a 10 or 15-second clip at the beginning, and it's not me, and then you jump into the actual video, and it is me. It's clear that you can tell this was a fake video, this is a real you can
Ah,
tell
okay,
instantly.
alright.
Now, it's not gonna be that easy on something that is a really well-designed deep fake,
Yeah.
but you'll see that in different videos throughout the 35 videos that I did, some of them are really cartoonish and silly. Some of them really look like me talking towards the last 3 or 4 episodes before I
Right,
stopped
so
doing the tape.
they're a lot harder to detect.
Yeah, yeah, because I was getting better at making the prompts to create the videos.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and that, by the way, we'll talk about that next week, how to
Okay,
save a bunch of prompts that we use in your tools or your toolkit to get the
okay,
most out of AI.
okay. Alright, very good. So we've got, just under 2 minutes. Any
Mhm.
closing remarks?
Yeah, let me just, finish these. So look for the
Okay.
flat tone, the behavioral, sudden urgency, do this is gonna be a thing. If you don't do
Yeah,
something right now,
yeah,
we're all
yeah,
gonna
urgency is always
burn.
bad. Yep,
And then, don't tell somebody this is a
right,
big secret.
yep.
Nuances and edge case, for accuracy there, one of the things that I would say is, looks and sounds real, but you always wanna have that skeptical mind of,
Mhm.
one of the things that I do especially when I'm trolling through my emails, the junk mail, they give you these urgent things like, "We just, processed your payment for $600."
To
Right?
make you wanna open that email.
Right, and
Yeah.
I say, "Oh, great, thanks for doing that for me." I literally have a programmed thing in my head that says, "Oh, thanks for taking care of my payment," because my Amex would have shown it to me if I did it.
Yeah, and that's something so you don't go into panic mode, right?
Exactly,
Y
yeah,
it just is like, "Oh, okay, thank you," and then you're gonna be
right,
more apt to go, "Okay, that doesn't make sense, blah, blah, blah."
right,
So,
and then the
alright.
final one is, look for the don't get caught plan, and that's this last there's a bunch of these that are in the references that we have, but this is probably one of the biggest ones that I'd like to point out. If you are being told that there's a proof of life situation going on and somebody's
Oh,
trying to get
mhm,
they're doing an imitation of somebody,
right.
hang up. Just hang up and then use the number you have on your phone to call that person back real
The
time
number in your contacts,
in your
not
contact.
the call history number that came through, the number that you know is that person. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
if they go, "What are you talking about?" You're like, "Okay, that was a scam."
Exactly. Yeah,
I
that's
think that's one of
verification,
the big ones.
so. All right.
So that's it, really. I think I just wanted to make sure. And all of these are in that research document I shared.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take a deep dive into that before next week. So, all right. Thanks, David. And I'm looking forward to next week to continue this conversation. But we are out of time, and I need to do a quick 10-second close on here. So.
You got it.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Lots of great information. Don't forget to tune in next week. We're going to continue the conversation on artificial intelligence and with some different tools you can have in your toolbox. And don't forget to go to roseadvocacy.org. All our social media links are there. Down at the bottom of the homepage, you can sign up for the newsletters. Also, David's YouTube channel is The Second Sip. You can get on and look at some of the videos that he's done there as well. All right, we'll see you next week.
Well, that's all the knowledge for this episode. Tune in every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time on K4HD Radio at k4hd.com as Joyce explores a variety of knowledge so you have the power to make scam protection your healthy habit. And until then, feel free to reach out to Joyce and let's talk about scams.